It's 2020, so that means it's not only a new year, but a whole new decade. I think it's important to reflect on how far we've come since then. Games have always been important to me, and their stories they tell, or it's pure blatant entertainment. I'm going to talk about a game from each year that had probably the most lasting impact for me. Could be good, could be not good, but still very symbolic to me as a person. So remember, these are just my opinions. Take them or leave them. So let us begin. 2010, Halo Reach. I was a longtime Halo fan growing up, and while I still had an Xbox, this still set so many records for the Halo formula. I was still a little bit disappointed after the watered-down ODST that came out the prior year. I had mainly bought it for the firefight mode. The Halo series also had the popularity of Call of Duty breathing down its neck. But Bungie's campaign was a coup de grace to anything Call of Duty could ever muster. Sure, it's your linear shooter, but to the end I felt a cold chill going down my spine. I still get goosebumps thinking about it, which I guess spoilers for this moment. You're the last surviving member of your squad as you look over an entire planet that's been laid to waste, and you're simply told to survive. On this last mission, enemies get incrementally harder during this, and as you keep kicking ass, your visor gets more and more cracked as you keep fighting. Your ammo runs low, and you can keep fighting, just requires using enemy weapons. But defeat is inevitable here. Eventually you fall, and rip your helmet off. Like, I have never had a game made me feel so many emotions from that one scene. I feel like I have to give it this moment of the damn decade, and it makes me sad knowing Bungie's storytelling like this was up in the air for a long time. Maybe now that they've taken control of Destiny from Activision, they'll be able to get something amazing like this once again. 2011, Minecraft. It's Minecraft. Y'all know about it. So I'm going to talk about my runner-up for this year instead. Deus Ex Human Revolution. The Deus Ex series is what I think all first-person shooters should strive to be. It should never be shoot first. It's a very important rule to remember in life. The game gives you so many more tools than just a gun. You can break walls, lift vending machines, fight in hidden ventilation shafts, hack, etc. There's so many different ways to approach it. The game gives you so many different ways to approach it, I genuinely think this is grade A game design. Of course, your character has about as much HP as a piece of toilet paper, so combat engagements usually aren't recommended, but that's okay because there are more options than that. Plus, if you've ever had a fantasy of being James Bond and doing the whole secret agent thing, this game nails that feeling right on the head. So this makes this my game of the year. Right under the crushing weight of Minecraft. 2012, Borderlands II. Before the looter-shooter genre came, we had Borderlands. To be blunt though, Borderlands 1 did not age well. But Borderlands 2, I feel, perfected the formula. The game is a blast to play, and it has so much content, assuming you bought it all, And while the story is pretty simplistic, it feels good to get a good, unique weapon, all while being a good platform to play with friends, if you can get them together, of course. As of now, Borderlands 3 has come out, so Borderlands 2, is it completely obsolete? No. Handsome Jack was honestly one of the better villains in the series, while some of the set pieces are still pretty amazing. The game's good for some good old looter-shooter fun, especially because I think Borderlands 3 has a bit of a screaming problem. Unfortunately, they thought that the popularity of Tiny Tina from this game was a good thing, so they tried to make every character her. And that's a bad thing. Anyway. 2013! A tie! Animal Crossing New Leaf, or Rune Factory 4. I literally put these two games on a pedestal and I couldn't shut down either of them. Animal Crossing, a game I sunk countless hours into because I used to be a lonely farm boy, and it had virtual friends to protect me from depression. Not gonna go too deep into it, but Animal Crossing has always been there for me. But I have found it lacking in gameplay as I get older. I feel like after I've gotten to a max-tiered house and got all the furniture I could ever want, I don't know what to do with it then. Granted, that took me 1,000 hours to complete according to my 3DS profile, but then I look at Rune Factory 4 and I'm just like, there's too much content in it, and I freaking love it. Take Harvest Moon, shove a nice load of hot Skyrim in there before it was beaten into death, add the ability to grow fancy stuff for your adventures, add in a storyline, add in bosses, along with rare drops for you to farm from the bosses, like in Monster Hunter, add in cooking, and being able to open a shop that sells more stuff than you normally would, and add in, oh seriously, there's just too much content here to breeze over. Oh my gosh. When the Switch version comes out, get it, you will not regret it. 2014 Wasteland 2. So I'm going to be honest here, I'm a Fallout fan, but my first Fallout game was Fallout 3. And yes, I know, they say that isn't the real Fallout game, but hear me out. It made me enjoy the Fallout universe, even if that means going to the first games. While not exactly the most modern, I feel like a modern polishing of that game was fully welcomed. So here we land with Wasteland 2. The game has practically infinite replayability and is amazing and in-depth. I feel like every decision I make will eventually come back to bite me later. Then the game feels a little bit depressing to play, but that's how a Wasteland should be. I feel like despite us trying to do what I thought was right, we'd end up doing something terrible for another party. So this game really messes with you a lot, and makes you think what you could do better. This open-ended gameplay is rare, and is only something you'll see in a CRPG, which thankfully had a bit of a resurgence. Thanks to Divinity and Wasteland kicking heads in the indie market. 2015 Fallout 4. So, I said I'm a Fallout fan, so back up and get ready for me admitting a guilty pleasure. I enjoyed Fallout 4 for its generic gameplay and something I'm familiar with. While other new experiences opened up, two of them were too high-end for my clunky computer at the time. And something I was completely unaware of until later, especially after the fans ruined it for me. And this game has significance because it was the last game I was hyped for and actually managed to live up to its hype. Then Todd Howard came in and ruined the series. But one thing I really enjoyed about Fallout 4 was the building systems and the fact you could link your settlements together. I've spent so many Fallout games focused on trying to do some epic quests to help out the Wasteland, but was never part of a rebuilding effort. And it felt great rebuilding a civilization. It was honestly kind of fun to create some colorful towns of neon lights and fun shopping districts in the drab-colored wasteland. Then also have people living in them as well, so it feels like you're having an impact on rebuilding the world. But with Bethesda's been so, well, darn greedy lately, I have a hunch we won't be getting a game like this anytime soon. I feel this might be a send-off for the last Bethesda game formula game I enjoy. Unless Starfield is really killer, I don't see myself coming back. 2016 Overwatch Stellaris. It was going to be Overwatch, but Blizzard did some really dumb stuff last year. Matter of fact, get ready, I'ma bash Overwatch. The game has changed too many times since launch. I wouldn't complain, I can adapt to change. But the problem is, Blizzard is changing it slowly for esports. They got rid of hero stacking, they threw in role log, and they took any creative team comps out of the game. I never played competitively, mainly just stuck to quick play, but the game is getting slowly ground up and turned into junk thanks to them eliminating any slow-paced hero and turning them into a dive tank. And I'm tired of playing Diva. Seriously, throw her in the grinder too! I could go on for hours, but it's just frustrating to see a game you once loved turned into something terrible, along with the company behind it getting quite terrible as well. Anyway, let's get back on target and talk about Stellaris. Stellaris is a space civilization game. It's pretty much a civ game in space, but it's a bit more, well, you don't have to slap that turn button every couple of things. It's real-time action. And honestly, I really enjoy these empire building games. If they're in space, awesome. Let me have my sweet imperial scaly love. Space turns! The game has an in-depth faction creator, and it's great trying to control a whole galaxy. The factions don't instantly betray you like in Civilization, especially if you've all been buddy for a whole run. So it feels kind of worthwhile to have a nice group of aliens you can trust for once. But just to note, this game has gone through multiple iterations throughout the past year. I don't know if I would have recommended it, like way back in 2016, but they've definitely improved it so many times since then. And a lot of changes they do kind of make it a lot more enjoyable and more in-depth as it goes on. It's a much better game than Overwatch, probably because it doesn't have an anti-democracy company at the helm. 2017 Super Mario Odyssey. You have to play this. No, seriously, go play it. Buy a Switch, I'll wait! Okay, but seriously, the Switch came out in 2017, and it was this or Breath of the Wild. Well, Breath of the Wild had given me a similar feeling of enjoyment. Odyssey had an easier bar to entry. Breath of the Wild felt difficult to get back into when I would come back. It was either adapt to where I forgot where I last saved and wake up on the random desert overlook and I'd be all kind of, what? Wouldn't even get a control rebriefer. Wasn't sure what I was doing, what to do. But then you come back to Mario Odyssey and it's all like, hey, you remember how to jump! So just start jumping around with vibrant music, vibrant colors, and all these good tunes and all this beautiful stuff, and it's a good feel. It welcomes me back. Even just fooling around, you still get rewarded for just about anything you can think of in the game. The game made me smile in so many ways I can't imagine. There's so much charm, fun, and great level design in this collectathon. It made me feel younger for playing it even. The game is practically an amazing wonder, and it felt like a love letter from Nintendo to its fans. 2018 Subnautica. Subnautica is a long time coming. This is a game made by an indie studio that managed to pump out AAA quality gameplay. I'm not gonna lie, yes, I know the game was in early access for a long time. It's hard to determine when a game comes out and when it really came out. But despite the technicalities, this game is a beautiful gem. Despite having some horror elements about going deeper into water, and it heavily rewards you for that exploration. It gives you new toys to play with, fancier stuff to build. All you have to simply do is explore. And be brave enough to deal with, oh god! But the game is the pinnacle of the survival genre, which was flooded this decade after Minecraft. It also brought some new things to the table, like a story and mystery for you to uncover. It's also not an RNG-based world for once. Everything is hand-sculpted. which I think is a great way of handling things in the future. 2019. So, for 2019, it's hard to say what the game of the year would be for me. Going back, a lot of these games have some qualities that were capable of standing the test of time or something meaningful to me. So, I feel I'll just come back and make another video for this. Just, why not review my favorite 2019 games in general? Sorry to cop out, but that's how the ball rolls sometimes. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you all for watching. If you liked, feel free to give me a like, maybe a compliment about what you did like. If you dislike, feel free to dislike and give me some feedback. If you want to see more, why not subscribe? I might hit 100 subscribers someday. Again, thanks for watching. This is Mr. Bubbles, signing out.